Hey everybody, it's Tashay here, and I was sitting here just in awe of God, like all morning. Like me and my husband, we were up, we were just talking about how good God has been to us, and we kind of got deeper into like what it takes to, really just walk in who God is calling you to be. And so I just wanted to honestly, after leaving my house and I'm about to go work out now, and I wanted to talk a little bit about like your character changing when it comes to walking with God, and what does that mean for you as somebody who is either a new believer or just taking on this walk with God. Because knowing what I know now, I would have been more obedient to God. Would have been doing what it was that he was calling me to do, and do, like, knowing how God was going to transform me and my family's life, how God was just going to step in and just do all of these things, like, for me. And looking back, and even I didn't even talk about this with my husband, but looking back on even just our relationship, me and his relationship, and some people know, but some people don't know. Especially, like, I was so, like, in an immature state of mind when I came into relationship with my husband, and he was too. And there was so many times, we've been together for 15 years now, there were so many times that I wanted to leave our relationship. And there were so many times I actually did leave my relationship, and I couldn't really think like, God, like, I'm trying to leave, and every time I leave, you tell me to go back. Like, and everybody around me who I was confided in was telling me I was crazy or dumb for going back to my husband. And or just sticking by his side, and just, it really didn't even boil down to that. People thought I was crazy because they didn't know what God was telling me. And so I would get in my mind like, okay, I'm ready to leave, or I'm done with this relationship. It's unhealthy. He's unhealthy. Just whatever the case may be. And the people I was confining into me, like, you're stupid. Why would you go back? You're dumb. Like, you just left and now you're going back. I was being obedient to God in these moments, because as quickly when I would leave, I was reacting off of emotion, off of so many different things. Again, not being as healed as I am now and knowing what I know now, but God revealed to me today that this was the reason why I told you to go back, because he was going to deliver, he was going to change, he was going to fix my husband. And while I was going through this situation, I wasn't married to my husband, and that was also a thing. We were just in relationship with each other. We were in a relationship with each other for a really long time before actually committing to being married. Y'all, I was supposed to get on here and talk about something completely different, but I'm gonna just go with it because Holy Spirit is putting this on my spirit to talk. So I'm gonna just finish what I was saying, and in hopes that, because I got on here to speak about something else, but God always has other plans, so I'm gonna just go with what he wants. But yeah, so there was so many times I left my husband, and at that time we were just in relationship with each other, and I would literally, it would wreck my brain, because I would be so hellbound and like, I'm done. And God would be like, no, you're not. Like, and people would be like, you're done, blah, blah, blah. You're going back, this. God told me, like, this is why. This conversation that I had this morning with my husband, it wasn't about his change, because I've already been witnessing his change since we've been married. It wasn't about, I've already been seeing how God has transformed him and has been working in him, for so long now. And it's finally at the point where my husband gets it, and he finally understands God's role in his life. And this is such a profound moment for people. A profound moment in realizing that you can try to walk all you want in your will. You can try to do things all you want in your will. Like me, for example, trying to leave my husband, or him doing whatever it was that felt good to him in those moments. And you can really do whatever it is you want to do. God gives us free will. He gives us free will to do what we please. However, if you are a person who has any type of spiritual gifts or any type of spiritual awareness when it comes to God, that means that you will be in communication with him, and you would tell him. So while I'm trying to leave my husband, and God is like, go back home, like, and I'm like, no, I don't want to, and I will procrastinate, and I will push it off as long as I could, until I just couldn't fathom. It was just like a feeling that took over me, like, I have to go home. And I would just be like, God, this man is so unhealed. Like, I can't do it. Like, completely judging, completely, like, out of the wrong. And this is the whole point of me also saying this is, people go off of what their outside circumstances are, and people go after what feels good to them and what's comfortable. I was uncomfortable in my relationship for a really long time. I was uncomfortable with the way we were living. I was uncomfortable with so many things, but God was telling me to stay put and to keep digging into him. And I did. I did when it didn't make sense. I did when I just had so much faith in what God was telling me, and that it was true, and that he was going to stick to his word, because he's always done it when it comes to my life. And if you have not, go check out my YouTube testimonials. My first 2 podcast episodes, like, they describe my whole life. Like, so growing up, God was always a redeemer for me. God was always a fixer. He always saved me. He always gave me a bigger vision. Even, and I talked about this too on my YouTube episodes. My YouTube is Sis God on YouTube. If you don't know, the link is in the bio. Please go support and subscribe, y'all. But there were so many times I didn't understand what was going on around me, and I wanted to stick to what was comfortable because that's what felt good. And I am just here to tell you today, what's uncomfortable is the right place to go, or the decision to make. What is scary a little bit, go into it. What is fearful, what is keeping you trapped, what is keeping you at a place of not moving because you're so scared, or you don't know what's in the unknown. Like, let's be honest about that. You have to, when walking with God, you have to just learn how to do what it is that he is saying to do. Me and my husband probably could have been in a better place in our whole situation if we had this mind frame that we had now, and that's just doing what God is calling you to do what he's asking you to do, walk firmly in him, put everything in him, like, do everything with him. Like, I talked about that too in my YouTube channel, how I had a YouTube channel and it did not move, it did not grow, because I was making it about me, and I was so vain, and I was so fearful of everyone else's thoughts. God was like, you're not ready. And then when he told me I was ready, it was a whole different experience. Like, and I'm still growing. I'm still learning the ropes and stuff like that. But the point is, like, don't stick to what's comfortable and what looks normal and what everyone else is telling you to do for your situation. I looked at my husband for the first time and I don't know how long, and I've been seeing his changes, but I looked at him today and I just was like, I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you, because you no longer ran from God's voice in your head. You no longer, did what was feeling good to you, or followed your flesh, or, let your ego lead. Like, you're finally understanding that God has more for you, and in order for God to keep doing more for you and to keep elevating it, you finally understand that it's his will and not your will. And this is a profound moment for anybody to realize, and this is why I've been crazy about God since I started back walking with him and coming out of witchcraft. Like, God has a way of giving you double for your trouble. Like, I knew my husband was my soulmate from the very first time I met him. And the enemy tries so hard to tear us apart and rip us apart. He was in his flesh, I was in my flesh. There were so many things that happened wrong in the years of our marriage, like, that a normal person would have been like, I'm done with that. This is in no way, shape, or form trying to tell you to stay in an unhappy situation. I am not in your place. You are not in my place. We have 2 different scenarios. I've always been someone who God communicates with and talks to. My situation is different. I'm not saying that to stay in an unhappy place or to come, like, I'm not here for that. I'm here just to tell you my experience, and my experience is that God was telling me to do something and I did not understand why he was telling me to do it. And now I understand now. And this speaks to so many people, because how many things have God put on your heart to, like, tell you to not do something or to do something, and you're like, God, that doesn't make sense to me. God, I don't want that. Or, God, that doesn't feel good to me. And God has a way of giving us double for our trouble. He has a way of giving us blessings for our pain, and like miracles for, you know, our heartbreaks. Like, God is such a transformer. The minute that you put a capsule on him and what he can do, even in a broken situation, because God knows both me and my husband were broken. When I met him, I was coming off of family trauma and like survival mode, you know, and so many other things in between there, like having been hurt by family members, having been betrayed, and, you know, and so many different things. Like, I was coming out of that when I met him. So all the trauma I had and all the trauma he had in his life, like us coming together, we were literally just two broken people doing what was comfortable for us in those moments, whatever that had may been. And I felt delusional at times, and I felt crazy at times. And I know I'm going to make mistakes. He's going to make mistakes. Nobody here between me and him is perfect. Nobody is. And so I'm not saying it's going to be all rainbows and sunshine, because let's be honest, we have an enemy that's always working in the background. I'm just on here to tell you that if God is telling you to do something, do it. Like, be obedient, listen to what he says. It might not make sense. You might look crazy to everybody else. You might look delusional. People might tell you to do something else. And this is another thing, clearing out the naysayers, the people who think you're crazy, or the people that you trusted to let in and you look to them or look up to them. Like, you shouldn't. Like, when I stopped listening to what other people said, or I stopped looking at what other people did in their situations or relationships, when I stopped letting people who were single telling me what to do with my relationship with my husband and baby father, like, when I stopped listening to the naysayers and really just started listening to God about my situation, and not listening with other fleshly people who don't know me or my husband, like, just letting people who, you know, who have no right to be in my business or into my situation, letting them in and just letting them dictate my life. And I'm so glad every time that happened, God was just like, don't listen to them. Don't do this. And again, I say this to say, as I look at my husband, he's a completely different person now. And again, he may make mistakes. I may make mistakes. I'm sure there'll be other times he'll be like, this woman is crazy. Or I will look at him and say, man, like, what happened? Like, you know, that's life. That is life. But understanding the real rich is being in communication with God, being in a walk with God. Everybody's walk looks different. Everybody's journey looks different. You know, while God, there was a pivotal moment too where I was like, you know what, God, I am no longer going. And I remember this moment so heavily. Like, I was like, I'm not going to keep trying to run. Like, I'm not going to keep trying to run. I'm just going to do what you tell me to do. So if you don't tell me to move, I'm not going to move. If you don't tell me to leave again, I'm not going to leave. And it was so hard, because every time he did something wrong, or every time I was triggered, or every time I felt a certain type of way, I felt the feeling of wanting to leave. I felt the feeling of just being done again. And it took everything, all the willpower in me, to just be like, God didn't say it. God didn't tell me to do that. And God turns ugly into beautiful. Like, he turns crazy and bad into good. Like, I can't really explain it. It could have been my undeniable wavering faith that I believe that God would have had made me go through all of what I went through with him, to just leave me high and dry, or to desert my family, or make my family be incomplete or unwhole. Like, there could have been so many other times where the thing is, like, and this is the other thing, and this is why a lot of people also don't grow, is you don't believe God is capable. You don't believe people or God is capable of doing the unthinkable. God uses anybody. I am the healed, and I'm going to say this, and as crazy as it sounds, I learned so much about myself through my relationship, because God really used my husband to heal me. God really used my husband to grow me. God really used to grow me and to make me the woman that I am today. My relationship with God wouldn't even be as as strong as it is right now if I didn't need him to help me understand this man and my marriage and my calling here in this situation. And that's the other thing. The enemy has a way of blinding you. You could think you're in a situation or going through a situation or going through a time in your life where you just don't understand. And the enemy can literally have you blinded to the point of you're supposed to do something here. You're being called here for a reason. You're being called to this situation for a reason. You're being called to this man for a reason. And it's so crazy. Like, connecting the pieces this morning, I just was like flabbergasted. And I didn't even tell my husband this. Like, I just was in shock. Like, God was like, see, like, in that moment we were having that conversation and I was just looking at him and God was just like, see, this is why I made you go back. Looking at looking how our life has changed since we decided to become one, and just looking at how God has changed him so much and like changed his mind frame and how he thinks and how he acts and how he moves. Like, I was just like, God, you are so good. And it made me be in awe of God and all that he's done in my life since I could remember. So I had to get on here to let you know that your situation may look ugly. You may be in a place, in a marriage, in a relationship where you think God can't heal or fix that situation. You may be sick, and you think God can't heal you and, give you a second chance at life. You may be dealing with children that are unruly, or, just, you don't know how to. God is using you in that situation to grow you. God is a healer. He is a redeemer. He is a way maker. And just because our minds can't wrap our head around the fact that our situation and our thing feels so big and so crazy, and like, God, why am I being called here? It was so many times I asked him, like, why do you keep making me go back? Like, I want a new start. I want a fresh start. And he didn't tell me why in these moments. He just kept telling me, go back home, go back home, go back to him. And I couldn't understand. And it is God is just so good. Like, God is so good. And I can sit here and count all the blessings and all the great things that he has in store for us and all the great things that, he's going to do for us. We're still flawed people, and we still are growing in our walk with God. So we are going to continue to fall short at moments. There will be times where, certain things will still trigger us, or we will be called to old behaviors because we lived in them for so long. There will be so many times we will fall short for each other. The goal is not to aim for perfect or perfection. The goal is to keep Christ in the center of our marriage and our situation, because you really can't go wrong choosing God over every area of your life, putting God in every area of your life. You can stick to what's comfortable. You can stick to what feels good. That's why I kept leaving and trying to leave, because it felt good. I could start off fresh. I can find me a new man. I could leave and just start a new family. Somebody will take me and my kids, like, and that is true. Somebody could have probably, but God said no. God said, this is the man I'm supposed to be with. And there's something special that happened when we chose to solidify that and be in covenant with God in our marriage. So walking with God is hard. You will cry. Even when God blesses you and shows you, there will be other moments where you'll be like, I don't understand. You could feel blessed and highly favored one day, and you could wake up tomorrow with tears in your eyes, like, God, I'm tired. Like, this is the way in walking with God and understanding that there will be good days, there will be bad days, but you have a Father who is making things come out for your better good, who is working things out for your better good, even when you don't understand, even when you can't comprehend, and even when everything around you looks unsure and looks weird and even when you got people in your ear telling you like something else. Even when your outside circumstances are not matching up, you have a God who is making it count for something. God made everything count. Every tear that I cried, every uncertainty that I had, everything that you could possibly went through, I went through in my life of being a 34-year-old woman. I've been through everything you can possibly imagine. And God, where I'm at now, it's like God finally has been breathing on me and just is like, see, you chose me. When you choose him, only good things happen. When you choose him, your life gets better. Even if it's a little bit of a time, because God only gives us what we can handle, but even just a little bit better each time. When you see people, and this video is longer than I expected, but whatever. When you see people in the world and you're comparing yourself to these people, and you're like, well, they don't even believe in God, and how are they getting elevated? Or, there's other times where you're like, yeah, they believe in God, but they don't worship like I worship. They don't even pray. They don't even go to church. Like, how are they being blessed before I am being blessed? The comparison level, that would kill you each and every time, comparing your life to someone else. But also, you have to know there's a devil that rewards people, just like we have God who rewards us for certain things we do. There's also a devil that rewards evil people, that makes them think like, oh, if you continue your evil ways, you will continue to get blessed. So keep just being bad and evil, I'll bless you. The devil will bless you with more chaos, because you're causing chaos. So he's like, yeah, good job. And then on the flip side, you have people who don't do nearly as much as you, and they're being elevated, but you just also don't know their story. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know what their childhood was like. You don't know, what they pray to God about, or what they cry to him about. The point of the matter is, you don't ever know when it's your time, but you have to have certainty. This undeniable faith that I'm talking about, it was undeniable in so many areas of my life. I knew I would always be better. Whatever better looked like, God had that ultimate say so. But I just knew I would always be better. And I know that I'm always going to get better. Why? Not because of nothing that I'm doing, but because I serve a God that's making it count for something. Not because of anything that I could possibly do. God is just working it out for me. I believe that undeniably nobody else can tell me anything different. And I believe that type of faith in my marriage. I believe that type of faith in every area over my life. So maybe just the difference between you and somebody else is your faith level. Do you really believe God is God? Do you really believe that he can turn this ugly thing into something great? Do you think this little small idea that you have, he can turn it into a multi-million-dollar business? Do you believe that? My undeniable faith is I do believe God is an amazing God, and it just takes him to breathe on something for it to come into fruition, or to become real, or to become reality, or to become something big. And sometimes it's just your faith level. So have faith in all the weird areas of your life, or the areas in your life that don't make sense. I hope this video was helpful. I feel like I've blabbered a lot. I'm probably gonna have to do a part 1 and a part 2 because the video is longer than I thought it would be. But my point is, so many points in this thing. Obedience, your faith level. Stop comparing. Change your mental mind frame. Like, instead of being a victim and asking God, why am I here? Why am I going through this? Oh, I'm so sad for my life. Because I played the victim role for so long. Felt so bad for me. Like, God, my life was just so bad. My whole life. I'm such, like, why me, God? Why me? When I stopped looking at myself as a victim and was just like, okay, so God is making everything work out. So I should just walk up. My head should be held a little bit higher now. Like, I should be walking with a new level of confidence about myself, because God is doing something in the background always. Because why? Because I'm walking with him, because I'm choosing him. Even when I fell short and went with my own feelings, or fell short and did what other people were telling me, or fell short and just being a good person sometimes, I was still walking with God in these moments. And instead of him condemning me or making me fall short, he just picked me up and was just like, do it this time. Do it better. Do it different this time. Like, make it better. Like, change your attitude, change your mind, change what you're saying, change how you talk. Like, it only gets better in walking with God. Like, it only gets better. So just, I know this was a little bit longer, but just take your time, really listen to what I'm saying to you, y'all. Like, things only get better when you choose God. They only get better. And I just, I hope this was helpful. Share this with somebody that you think it could help them, because it takes a second to share a video and change someone's life and like help someone. And please like, comment, and share. If you are not following me on YouTube, y'all, link is in the description. Like, I started filming more day in the life stuff so I can be just more personal and people can actually understand and know who I am and blah blah blah. But yeah, the link is in the bio for my YouTube channel. And like, yeah, support your girl. Also, leave this in the comments. Did I blabber or was there some gems in here? Like, come on. Like, let me know in the comments and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.